Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room, and instantly all eyes turn to them? They don't say a word. They don't even try. Yet somehow, everyone feels their energy. While others, no matter how hard they try, stay unnoticed. They talk more, they try harder, but still, something's missing. Here's the truth. It's not always about looks. It's not about money. And it's definitely not about pickup lines or tricks. The real secret is psychology. Love psychology. Because attraction isn't logical, it's emotional. People don't fall for you because of what you say. They fall for you because of how you make them feel. And when you understand these psychological triggers, you stop chasing attention and start attracting it effortlessly. So in this video, I'm revealing 7 powerful love psychology secrets that make you magnetic, unforgettable, and deeply desired. These are the quiet habits, the emotional cues, and the subtle mindset shifts that make someone think, "There's just something about you, and I can't get you out of my head." So, grab a seat, because once you understand these secrets, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. And before we dive in, if you're someone who loves learning the psychology behind attraction and connection, make sure you subscribe, like, and drop a comment below saying, "I'm ready." That way I'll know to make more videos like this for you. Now, let's get into it. 1. Humor, the emotional shortcut. Imagine 2 men on a date. The first one sits across from her, confident in his resume. He talks about his job, his car, his gym routine, listing achievement after achievement like he's giving a TED Talk. She nods politely, smiles occasionally, but her eyes? They drift. Her body leans back. Her laughter is polite, not real. Now the second man walks in, same restaurant, same setting. But instead of trying to impress, he relaxes. He notices her earrings and says, "Wait, those look dangerous. Are they secretly weapons?" She laughs. He jokes about his tragic attempt at cooking pasta that ended with the smoke alarm going off. He doesn't brag, he plays. And just like that, the energy shifts. She's leaning forward now. Her face lights up. She's not analyzing him, she's feeling something. That's the secret of humor. Because humor isn't about telling jokes. It's about creating emotional connection. It's an emotional shortcut straight to comfort and chemistry. See, laughter lowers defenses. It releases dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical, the same one we experience during moments of trust, excitement, and affection. That's why humor is so magnetic. It signals that you're confident enough not to take yourself too seriously. It says, "I'm comfortable with who I am and you can be too." And that's powerful, because attraction isn't built on logic. It's built on emotion. So here's your takeaway. Don't try to impress people. Try to make them feel good around you. Don't memorize lines. Notice small moments, laugh at yourself, and keep things light. The truth is, the most charming people aren't the funniest, they're the most present. They know how to turn any situation into a shared moment of joy. And joy, my friend, is irresistible. 2. Teasing, interest without neediness. Now let's move to something deeper, teasing. Let's say you're having a conversation and she says, "I'm really fun once you get to know me." You smirk and reply, "Oh really? I'm still waiting for that part." She laughs, leans in, and insists, "No, I am fun." That's teasing, light, playful, and filled with energy. It's not about being mean or sarcastic. It's about creating a spark, a push and pull that keeps things alive. Here's what's really happening beneath the surface. When you tease, you create tension without hostility. And tension is one of the strongest forms of attraction in psychology. See, most people think being nice is the key to attraction. So they overdo it, compliment after compliment, endless validation, constant availability. But that kind of energy doesn't excite the brain. It's too predictable. Teasing flips the dynamic. It shows confidence. It says, "I like you, but I don't need your approval." And that makes you instantly more intriguing. Think of it this way, if you're too nice, you're a comfort zone. If you tease playfully, you become a challenge. And people don't chase comfort, they chase challenge. But here's the golden rule: tease with warmth, not ego. Your tone should say, "We're playing," not, "I'm better than you." You're inviting connection, not competition. The right kind of teasing creates chemistry that feels effortless. It's like a spark, small but unforgettable. Keeps the conversation alive, dynamic, and fun. Because attraction isn't built on words. It's built on energy, that back and forth rhythm where both of you feel seen, teased, and intrigued. 3. Mirroring, the silent dance. Have you ever met someone for the first time and thought, "Wow, it feels like I've known this person forever"? That instant comfort. That effortless flow. That connection you can't quite explain. Chances are, they were subconsciously mirroring you. You leaned back and they leaned back. You smiled and they smiled. You laughed and somehow their tone, timing, and energy matched yours perfectly. It didn't feel rehearsed. It felt natural. Like two people moving to the same rhythm without ever discussing the beat. That's mirroring, the silent dance of attraction. And it's powerful because it taps into one of our most primal instincts: belonging. The human brain is wired to seek familiarity. When someone reflects our energy, gestures, or even our pace of speech, it signals to our subconscious: same tribe, same energy. I'm safe here. That's why babies smile when you smile. They giggle when you laugh. They learn connection not through words, but through reflection. Mirroring is that ancient, nonverbal way of saying, you and I, we're in sync. But here's the secret: it has to be subtle. When you overdo it, when you mimic too precisely, it feels awkward, even manipulative. Real mirroring flows from presence, not performance. When you're genuinely paying attention, when you're tuned into the other person's tone, energy, and emotion, your body naturally mirrors theirs. Your gestures align. Your words match their emotional tempo. And suddenly you're not two strangers talking, you're dancing in sync. So next time you're connecting with someone, stop thinking about what to say next. Just feel the rhythm of the moment. Let your body and tone respond naturally. Because true connection isn't something you force, it's something you sink into. That's the silent dance of attraction. 4. Eye contact, the silent flirt. There's an old story about Napoleon Bonaparte. It said that when he looked at you, really looked, it felt like he could see your soul. He didn't just make eye contact, he commanded attention without saying a word. That's the power of the gaze. It's ancient. It's magnetic. And it's one of the most powerful psychological tools of attraction. See, in love psychology, eye contact communicates confidence, interest, and desire all at once, without a single word spoken. But here's the catch: most people get it wrong. Some avoid it altogether, constantly looking away, breaking the moment before it ever builds. Others hold it too long, turning intensity into discomfort. So what's the secret? It's in the timing. Hold the gaze long enough to create tension. Let your eyes lock just for a beat longer than normal. Then soften your expression with a small smile, and look away. What happens next is subtle, but powerful. You've just created a question in their mind. A tiny loop that says, why did they look away? What were they thinking? And here's where the psychology comes in. Our brains obsess over unfinished moments. That's the Zeigarnik effect. The mind's tendency to remember what's unresolved. Your eyes just planted a mystery. And mystery is what keeps people coming back for more. So use your eyes not to stare but to speak. Let them say, I see you. I feel you. I'm intrigued. Because sometimes attraction doesn't begin with words. It begins with a single look that lingers just long enough to spark a question they can't stop thinking about. If these secrets are already reshaping how you think about attraction, wait till you hear the next ones. Because we're about to dive into the chemistry of push and pull, the art of leaving someone wanting more, and the timeless power of touch. So before we continue, tap that subscribe button. Hit like. 5. Push and pull, the chemistry of contrast. Love is like music, it needs rhythm. Without highs and lows, there's no melody, no excitement, no feeling. And in attraction, that rhythm comes from push and pull, the emotional dance between closeness and space. Picture this. You're sitting with someone, conversation flowing effortlessly. You lean in, playful and engaged, that's the pull. Then you lean back with a smile, tease a little or change the subject, that's the push. That gentle shift in energy is what creates spark. Why? Because emotions thrive on contrast. If you're always close, always available, it can feel overwhelming, there's no space to breathe. If you're always distant, it feels cold, there's no warmth to return to. But when you flow between the two, between warmth and mystery, connection and independence, you create emotional waves. And those waves keep people hooked. Think of your favorite song. The beat drops, then rises, slows down, then builds again. That rhythm keeps you listening. Attraction works exactly the same way. When you master push and pull, you become unpredictable in the best way possible. You're not chasing, you're dancing. You're showing that you can give connection, and also keep your independence. And that's magnetic. Because people don't crave perfection, they crave emotion. And push and pull is how you make them feel it. 6. The cliffhanger exit, leaving on a high note. Think about your favorite TV series for a second. Why do you binge it? It's not just the story, it's the cliffhangers. That last-minute twist that leaves you whispering, just one more episode. In attraction, the same principle applies. If you linger too long, the energy fades. But if you leave when the spark is still alive, you become a memory that lingers. Imagine this. You're having a great conversation. Laughter, chemistry, connection. But instead of dragging it until it dies down, you glance at your watch, smile and say, "This was fun, but I've got to run. Let's continue this later." Now you're not just a moment in their day. You're an unfinished story. And unfinished stories stick in the mind. That's the Zeigarnik effect. The psychological principle that says our brains remember incomplete experiences more than complete ones. By leaving on a high note, you're creating anticipation. They'll think about you later. Replay the last moment. Wonder when they'll see you again. You've turned a simple goodbye into emotional gravity. And that's how you become unforgettable. 7. Touch. The oldest love language. Before words. Before writing. Before language itself, there was touch. Touch is the first language we ever learned, and the one our hearts never forget. Think about it. A doctor's reassuring hand on your shoulder. A hug from a friend that says, "I'm here." A playful nudge that makes you laugh. Touch bypasses logic and goes straight to emotion. In attraction, the right touch can create electricity. It doesn't have to be intense or obvious. In fact, it shouldn't be. It could be brushing her arm while laughing. A light touch on her hand while emphasizing a point. Or a guiding hand on her back as you walk through a crowd. Subtle. Natural. Effortless. Because when touch is light, the imagination fills the space between. And imagination is where desire grows. The trick is to let your touch reflect comfort, not control. Warmth, not pressure. A good touch doesn't demand, it invites. Touch is powerful not because it's physical, but because it's emotional. It says, "You're safe here. You're seen. You're felt." And in love psychology, that's the final step, the bridge from connection to chemistry. So here's the truth. Attraction isn't about chasing, it's about creating. You create it with humor that melts walls. With teasing that sparks curiosity. With mirroring that builds connection. With eye contact that holds mystery. With push and pull that keeps chemistry alive. With cliffhangers that leave them craving more. And with touch that speaks straight to the heart. Love psychology isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. It's not about saying the right lines, it's about sparking the right feelings. Because people may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. So if you want to be unforgettable, don't chase love. Create it. If this opened your eyes, don't stop here. Because this is just one part of mastering emotional attraction. So before you go, hit that subscribe button. Comment, "I create love effortlessly." And tap like if you're ready to become magnetic, not by pretending but by understanding psychology itself. Because real attraction doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from knowing how to play the emotional game right.